Hello everyone, welcome to this AI powered data cleaning project. In this project, we'll be building an automated data cleaning pipeline using fast API, Streamlit, and AI agents. So we'll handle messy datasets from CSV files, databases, and the APIs using a mix of rule-based and the AI-powered cleaning techniques. So in this project, we're going to cover various tech stack, starting with Python and fast API for the backend, Streamlit for the interactive UI, AI agents for the data processing, and the PostgreSQL for the structured storage. So let's get started. All right, so first step is to create a folder. So whenever you're starting the new project, okay, so make sure you create a folder. So I've created a Euron AI agent for data cleaning and pre-processing inside the downloads, and this is my project folder. So once you create your project folder, the next step is, let me just open my VS Code. So I'll be using the CMD to open the VS Code, or else you can just open the VS Code directly and you can just open this particular folder, whatever the folder you have created. So let me just do the cd into this. Okay, so this is one of the easiest way. So I'll tell code dot. So if I tell code dot, so automatically the VS Code will open inside the same folder. All right. So now, for starting with the any project, right? The one of the first step is to create an environment, because you will be working with multiple projects and you will be installing many libraries, and all these libraries will have the certain versions, right? So for example, today you're working with this project and tomorrow you're working with some other project, and those project requires some other versions of the libraries. Okay, then it will conflict. Okay, you'll have a lot of conflict issues. So better you just create a new environment. So after creating an environment, you can start working in that environment, so that it will be separate from your local or the base environment. So we can create an environment in the various ways, right? So we can create using the conda environment, or else you can create an environment using the venv package, which is built in the Python. Okay, so we'll be using venv. So if you are okay with conda and you know like how to work with the conda environments, even you can just create the environments in the conda as well. Fine, so this is done. Okay, so next step is, let me just go and click on new terminal. And so right now you can see we don't have any files and folders here. So let me create an environment. So I'll tell python hyphen m v env. I'll give a name as AI data cleaning. You can give any name here. So env. Let me do enter. So as soon as do enter, you can see the folder got created called AI data cleaning environment. So let's wait. Yeah, so the environment got created. So inside this environment, you can see all the necessary scripts. Okay, all the packages which is required for me to work inside this environment got created. So now I need to activate this particular environment. To activate this environment, so we're gonna write the environment name, that is AI data cleaning env slash scripts. Yes, is capital. Okay, we are just activating it. Okay, so inside this folder you can see we have the scripts 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 and slash activate. So if I expand this scripts, okay, you can see the activate over here. So I'll tell activate. Okay, so so once you enter this, even you can see some of the differences here also. If I do enter, okay, so you can see the environment got activated. Okay, so the first step was to create an environment, then you need to activate an environment. So now I'm into this environment, so that whatever the installation is required for this project, so I'll be doing in this particular environment. Okay, so make sure to create an environment and do the project. If you're not creating an environment and directly you're just installing all the packages, somewhere for the future projects it may give some conflict issues. Okay, so make sure you just create an environment and do the necessary steps. Okay, so once this is done, or the next thing is to install the packages. Okay, so please do this project step by step, so that whenever you're stuck somewhere, you can just go back and you can do debugging. Okay, for example, if something is not working, you can just go back to the point, okay, where you have missed some of the steps. Okay, so make sure you watch this video clearly, okay, once, then you can just start implementing, then you can just follow along the video. Okay, so you can follow any of the approach. If you're good at follow along it, okay, you can just whatever the steps I'm doing it, you can just follow along, or else you can just watch the complete video at once, then you can just start doing it at the later stage. Fine. So our environment is created and we have activated the environment. Now the next step is to install the required packages. Okay, so to install the required packages, already I have the packages. Let me just copy this, and these packages will be shared to you, okay, in the resource section. You can install this. Okay, so the packages we are installing is pandas, numpy. Okay, so your request, even we are installing various packages. Okay, fast api, okay, streamlit. Okay, so whatever the frameworks is required for our project to build, so we're installing all those things. So let's wait. So this is one of the approach. What is the other approach? You can create a requirements.txt file, and even you can do pip install -r requirements.txt. Okay, this is also one of the approach. So if you try to install this this way, I mean like after the pip, even you can just freeze this all this packages into a requirements.txt. Okay, so that's what the approach I'm following it. Okay, so first let me just installing. I'm installing using the pip command. Right. All right. So the next is I'll do pip install. uh, okay, pip install is done, so let me just freeze all this. So I'll just tell here pip freeze requirements.txt remants requirements.txt, and let me do enter. So this requirements.txt got created, and if I do here pip list, okay, so we have only this. Okay, so let me, I think like there was some issue with the installation, so let me just copy all the necessary packages which is required. I'm just pasting that in the requirements.txt. Let me just copy this. I want this versions of all the packages like pandas, numpy. Okay, same thing. So now let me do pip install, control S. I'll do pip install -r requirements.txt. So let's wait. So during the installation, you can just fast forward the video. Okay, so because I'm not pausing it, so it will be completely, I'll just wait for the installation to complete. Okay, so I'm getting some issue with one of the package. Okay, let's see, like during installation, during running the project, if I just get any of the errors, we'll fix it. Collected, not run, done. Which package is getting the error? Let's check it. Okay, so anyways, let's proceed with the process. Okay, so if in case if you have any sort of errors while running the project, okay, we'll try to do the installation of those packages. Okay, so you'll come across many such errors, okay, during project building. So you should have a lot of patience, and even you'll be learning through this process. I mean, like if some package is missed, so we need to just do the pip install. Okay, so anyway, these are the requirements.txt file, and this is what you require it. Okay, so in case if you're not getting these errors, then it's well and good. Okay, because I work with the multiple projects, so I'll have a lot of version issues. Fine, so this is done. Okay, now the next step is to create a folder structure. Okay, so right now this is what we have inside the folder. This is my environment file, and this is my requirements.txt. And apart from that, so let me just go and create a few folders. Let me create a folder so where I'll be keeping all my sample data. It's called a data folder. Okay, so next let me create a folder called scripts. Let me go and create a folder called scripts. scripts scripts. Okay, so all the Python scripts will be stored here. Okay, and inside this Python scripts, so inside this Python scripts, I'll create all the different types of scripts here. Okay, so next let me just create one more folder called app. Folder called app. Okay, so inside this will be our main application. So I'll create app.py. app.py. And so inside the scripts, let me create all the scripts. Okay, so that once we proceed, so we'll be having a knowledge of like what are the different scripts we are working with. Okay, so first script name will be AI agent.py. So let me create a file called AI agent. AI agent. AI agent.py. So next we have something called backend.py. backend.py. So next we have data cleaning.py. data cleaning.py. So next we have data ingestion. Data underscore ingestion. Okay, give the proper names. Even whenever you're importing it, it should not throw any error. So next we have main.py. So new file inside the scripts. Main.py. So next we have pre-processing. So create a new file called pre-processing. Preprocessing.py. And I'll be creating one more file, one more script, okay, for the connection testing. Okay, so we are using the Postgres. So once we connect with the Progress, let's write one SQL script, Python script, which help us to just to check the connection. Okay, so I'll tell here test progress Postgres, Postgres connection, Postgres connection dot py. All right, so this is all with respect to the scripts. Okay, so next let me create one more folder called UI. So inside this we'll keep all our Streamlit and all other files. Okay, and so yes, I think like we are done with all the folder structure. To starting with, so we have the environment file. Let me just close all this. So we have the environment file. Okay, so next we have the app. Okay, so it will be our main application. Okay, from it's the entry point of our application called app.py. So next we have the data folder where we'll keep all our data files, like that file which we need to clean it. So next we have the scripts. Okay, so all the main scripts. So we'll be working with AI agents, backend, data cleaning, data ingestion, pre-processing. Okay, we have main.py and the test Postgres connection.py. The next I'll be explaining all those things when we start with each module. So next we have the UI. Okay, so all the UI code, okay, like Streamlit, okay, will be added over here. Okay, so yes, so we are done with a third step. The first step was to create an environment. So then we have installed the necessary packages, and then we have created a folder structure. So now let's start implementing the project. All right, so the next step is, so let's start with the data. Okay, so before writing all the scripts, okay, so first we'll make sure that we have all the data which is required for the cleaning. Okay, so whether it could be CSV file or Excel file, databases settings, okay, as well as the API. Okay, so for the data, already I have downloaded the sample data. Let me just go to the downloads here. So inside the downloads, I have something called sample data, both CSV and Excel. Let me just copy that. I'll go to my project folder. Let me just go to my data section and let me just go and paste it. Okay. So if I just go to my VS Codes, even I can just check those data points. So this is my sample data.csv. Okay. So here all can see we have some missing values. Okay. It's a small data set. Okay. So even you can just try with the other data sets as well. So next we have this is the Excel file. Okay, so you can just open the Excel file in the Excel sheet. Fine. So let me just close all these files over here. All right, so we have loaded the CSV as well as the Excel. So now the next step is to set up our databases. Okay, if I just go to my test Postgres connection.py. So right now I don't have any files and folders. So what we can do is let me just go to my Postgres. So I have pg admin. So let me just go to pg admin. So in case if you don't have Postgres, so what you can do is you can just go here and look for uh, Postgres download. Okay, so here Postgres SQL. So here you can just go and download the Postgres, and you need to follow the normal installation steps. Okay, so how we install the SQL Server, other RDBMS. Similarly, you can just follow it. Okay, so along with this, even you need to install the PG admin, which is an which provides like a UI. Okay, to interact with your servers. So similarly, how we have a SQL workbench to interact with the MySQL. Similarly, we need to even install the PG admin. Fine. So right now it's starting. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, so it got started. Let me just go and click onto these servers over here. So go to the server. The password I have set it's admin. So while configuring the PG admin, the Postgres server, okay, so make sure you have set the password and try to remember those passwords. Fine. So here, so inside this demo DB, okay, I have created demo DB, and inside this schema, public schema, so we have a table called my table. Okay, let's try to do the query. Let's try to okay, query the data over here. Let's see like what we have inside this. So let's try to do select star here itself. Okay, here show table doesn't work. Yeah. So here we have some sample data. Okay. So here we have, so you can just create any sample data. So whenever you are whenever you're trying to connect from the project to your PG admin, that is a Postgres server. So make sure you have some sample data. Okay. So here I've created a sample data. Okay. You can see we have ID, name, age, city, and the salary, and you insert some of the records. So my path will be my table. The table name will be my table, and the database I've created called DemoDB. Okay. So just feel free. I mean, like you can just create your own database. You can create your own tables. The point here is like to have the connection. Okay, whenever you're trying to read the data from the Postgres, so this we're gonna set up like so that the cleaning will automatically happen, and even we can just try to save that data for the later on. Okay, so for example, you have the data stored in the MyD any of the SQL server, and we are trying to load that particular data. We'll do some basic data cleaning, which will be done automatically. Fine. So point here is you can just create any of the sample data. Fine. So now let me just go and add the code, okay, which help us to check whether the connection is set or not. Okay. So this is the first thing which is required. Okay. So first we have added what? We have added the sample data .csv and the Excel. So now I'm just showing you the setup for the SQL's Postgres server. Fine. So right now we are using Postgres server, but in case we want to test with some other server, it's up to you. Okay. You can go with MySQL, Oracle, but we need to install the necessary packages along with that. Fine. So here, so in this script, so we need to provide the DB host. So my DB host is a local host and the port number is 5432. The DB name is the demo DB and the username is the Postgres and the password is the admin. Okay, so you need to provide all those parameters. So how will you get that particular information? So here, whenever you're trying to log in, okay, so you have all this particular information over here. Where is my server? Yeah, if you go to server and click on properties, so here you can see all the server, click on properties. Okay, so here you can see all the information like connection parameters. Address is the local host, port is 5432, and the database, the username is Postgres, and the password I remember because this is what I have set, that is the admin. Okay, so you need to provide all those things. So next, so this is the code. Okay, we have added that in the try and accept block. So very simple code. So we are trying to connect to the Postgres database. So we need to provide all the connection parameters like DB name, okay, user, password, host, and the port. And so with help of this cursor, okay, so the cursor, we are creating an object from the connection dot cursor. So cursor dot execute will just do select star from the table, okay, which help us to fetch all the tables, and we're gonna print that the tables is present inside my database. Okay, and finally we'll close the connection. Okay, so this is just to check if the table is present or not based on whatever the connection parameters I have just provided. Okay, now let me just try to run this. If I just go and close this, and if I do ls, so right now we are into the scripts, right? So let me just cd into scripts, and if I do ls, so I can see here test postgres connection dot py. Let me just do here python, so python test connection, test postgres connection dot py. Let me just do enter. Okay, I have not saved it. Okay, let me just do Control S. Yeah, I have saved it. So make sure you save the scripts. Okay. Okay, I'm getting the no module pycot. Very simple. Just you need to do pip install. Pip install pycopg2 install. So whenever you're getting some of the packages missing, okay, make sure you just install it. Okay. So let me just go to the same script. Yeah, you can see the Postgres connection was successful and the tables in the database is my table and the connection is closed. Okay, so yes, so we have done with the CSV part. Okay, we know we have the sample data. So even we have the sample data for the Excel, even we have a sample data for the database, and for the API. Okay, so I'll be using some inbuilt, okay, API from where I can just fetch the data. Okay, so I'll be explaining that when we go for the data ingestion. So yes, we are done with the basic data setup. So now let's proceed with the data ingestion, so which help us to get this all this data first. Okay, then we can do the data cleaning by using the agents. All right, so now let's update our data ingestion.py. So let me go to my data ingestion, and so let me just paste the code. So let me just explain like what is happening here. So this data ingestion class is helping us to load and fetch the data from the different sources. So already we have done the setup for the source, right? So we have done the setup for the sample data CSV, sample data in the Excel format, and even we have done the connection that is for the Postgres. IAPI, I'll just show it. Okay, so basically this data ingestion of a script help us to help in the loading and fetching the data from the different sources, okay, like CSV, Excel, databases, as well as the API. The first step is we are importing all the necessary modules here. Okay, so we are importing the OS, we importing which basically help us to handle the file paths. So then we are importing pandas, which is a data manipulation library, mainly for handling the tabular data. So next we are importing the request. So because we are dealing with the APIs, right? So even we need this request module. Okay, so which is helping us to make an API calls and retrieve the data over the HTTP. So even we are installing this SQL from the create engine, okay, which is a function to create a database connection engines. Okay, so next we are creating a global variable called a data directory. So this defines a directory path where the data files like CSV or Excel are the stored. So because we are doing the data ingestion, right, so we need to have a folder, so from where I can just get the data. So here we are using this underscore underscore file to get the current scripts location and navigate to this slash data. Okay, so because inside the data folder we have kept all our sample data. Fine. Okay, so next we started with the class. So here, so this class provides various methods to load the data from the multiple sources. So we have created a class called data ingestion. So here we have a method for load CSV, we have method for load Excel, a method for load connect databases, from load from the databases, and fetch from the API. Okay, these are the different methods which we have added. The first is we have defined the constructor. Okay, so this is how we define a constructor inside the class, right? So which initializes the data ingestion. You can see, even you can read the documentation here. Okay, so we are creating an engine here. Okay, so which help us to fetch all the information, the connection parameters to connect with my databases, right? So if the db url is none, so then no connection is established initially. Okay, so this is what we need to set. Okay, so even we have set the connection, the condition here. So next we are loading the data from the csv. Okay, so we users here pandas dot read csv to read the csv file. So if it is successful, it prints the success message and return the data frame. So if there is some issue, it will just give that as an exception, that is an error, while loading the csv. Similarly, we're doing for the Excel as well. Okay, so here we are using a load for the Excel. So even you can do the yeah, for the Excel we are reading pd dot read CSV, sorry, read Excel, and similarly we have just set the exception here. Okay, so Excel loaded successfully. If there is any issue, then just give that error. Okay, so next we are establishing a connection with the database. Okay, so after the object has been created, okay, so that is using the create engine. Okay, so we have already done that here, right? So create engine db url, so it uses this object to connect. Okay, so if this connection is successful, then it will print successful, or else if there is any error, it will give a failure message. So then we are fetching the data from the API. So here we uses request dot get API URL. Okay, and we are going to pass certain parameters to fetch the data from an API, and if the response is successful, we get a status code is equal to 200, which converts the JSON data into pandas data frame. Okay, so that's what we're doing it here. So we are taking we are reading the data, okay, the response in the form of JSON, then we're converting that into a data frame. So if it is successful, so it will just print the data fetched from the API successful. If there is any errors, then we're gonna get that in the exception handling, right? So yes, so this is all about a data ingestion script. All right, so now let me just save this, and I have done control S. Yeah. So next, let me just go and update my data cleaning. Okay, so let me just go to my data cleaning script. Okay, so here we're gonna mention we're gonna create a class. Okay, that help us to handle the missing values, removing duplicates, and even fixing the data types. Okay, so before getting into the agents, I mean, like before we send the data to the agents, okay, we'll do some basic pre-processing, so that we send some sort of clean data to the agent, so that we get a better output. Okay, so in the data cleaning, okay, let me just go and paste the code over here, and let me just explain it. Okay, so here inside the data cleaning, okay, so again we are started with importing all the necessary modules. Okay, so we need pandas and the numpy. Okay, so pandas of course it will handle all the data manipulations for the tabular data, right? So even we are importing the numpy. So we started with the data cleaning class, right? So here we have the different methods. So first method is the data handling the missing values. Okay, so we are removing all the like NaNs. Okay, so even we're gonna fill the missing values with the column mean. Okay, so even if you want to replace that with the median, we can do that for the mode, and finally we're gonna remove all the rows with the missing values. Okay, so this is how the strategy is being defined. So we have created a class called handling missing values. Okay, so which is taking a data frame, and strategy we have set to mean. Okay, so if strategy is equal to mean, just fill NA. Strategy is equal to median. This is what the default is mean. Okay, so the next the strategy, if set to median, it will calculate the median. Strategy is set to mode, it will calculate the mode. And if strategy is set to drop, it will try to drop it. But this is the default argument which I have set to mean. Okay, so next we have the remove duplicates. We use something called drop duplicates to remove the duplicate rows here directly. Okay, so next we have the fixed data types. So here we try to convert the each column to a numeric data type using the pd dot to numeric. So if any of the conversion fails, then it skip that particular column. Okay, so that's what we have said. So next we have the final method that's called clean data. So it calls all other methods to clean the data set. Okay, so like we are calling the handle the missing values. This is the handling missing values. So then we are calling the remove duplicates, and even we are calling this df data types. Okay, so this is what the data cleaning script contains. So now let me just save this. I'll save this as control s. All right, so now let's proceed with the AI agent script. Okay, so in the AI agent script, so before getting into AI agent script, okay, we need to set up the open API key. Okay, to set up the open API key, so the good practice is to create a file called .env. Okay, so we're gonna set that in the environment .env, and I'm gonna write open API. So open AI, sorry, open AI. So open AI API key. Okay, so here I need to set the key. So I'll be setting this key at the end. Okay, so before running the project. So make sure you should not share this key with anyone. Okay, so I'll be setting this while running the project. I'll do control S before so that this value will be stored. Okay, so let me just close this out. Fine. So for the agent.py, so let me just copy the code. And yes, so this is my agent.py. So let me just explain this in detail. Fine. So this agent, AI agent py, this script defines AI powered data cleaning agent. Okay, so using the LangChain, LangGraph, and OpenAI's LLM to process and clean the data sets in a structured manner. Okay, it's very important script because so this is our main hero of our project. Okay, so where we are using an agent to clean the data. Fine. So first we are starting with importing all the necessary packages. Okay, we are starting with OpenAI, which is an interface with the OpenAI's API. So then we're importing the pandas, okay, which handles the data manipulation as well as for the tabular data. Then we are importing load.env. So in the .env, so whatever the keys you have set up, okay, if you want to load that, so we need this package called load.env, so which loads the environment variables from the .env file. So next we are importing the OS to access the system environment variables. So then we are importing LangChain Open AI. So which uses the OpenAI's LLM with the LangChain framework. So then we are using the LangGraph, which define the stateful AI workflow. So then even we are using something called Pydantic dot base model, which ensures the structured state management. Fine. So this is all the necessary packages which we need to install. So the next step is we are loading the API key from the environment. So we are using load.env, so which help us to load the environment variables which is saved inside the .env file. Okay, so next, so here even we are giving a condition. So if so that is the load the OpenAI API key from the .env file or the system variables. Okay, can just set in any of the place. So if they if there is missing, okay, just raise an error. Okay, that's what we are setting. Okay, so value error. So OpenAI is missing. Set it to .env or the environment variable. So next, let's define the AI model. So it creates here we are creating an instance of the OpenAI's LLM using the API key, and we are setting a temperature to 0 for the consistent and the deterministic output. So what is the meaning of deterministic? It avoids the randomness in the cleaning, right? So next we have defined the class called a cleaning state. So which is basically a structured data model which uses a pydantic to handle the input text. That is a prompt given to the AI, and the structured response and second is the structured response where the AI generated clean data set. Okay, so this is what we have defined this to variable sorry, we have defined what structured data model here. Okay, so one is the input text as well as the structured response. So next we have defined the AI cleaning agent. So here it creates an AI agent that uses the land graph to handle the data cleaning. Fine. So next we have created a lang graph workflow which initializes the state graph with the cleaning state as it's a data model. Okay, whatever the data model we have set is trying to create that. Okay, try to initialize that. Fine. So next we have defined an AI processing logic. Okay, so that's what the agent logic we have set. So it takes an input text, that is a raw text, and sends to the OpenAI LLM. Okay, so that's what we have written here. Fine. Dot invoke. So then finally it returns the cleaning state object, ensuring that both input and the cleaned output are preserved. Okay, so that's what this agent output structured responses is doing. Okay, fine. So yeah, so here we are getting, you can see graph dot add node cleaning agent, graph dot add edge cleaning agent. Okay, and finally set entry point cleaning agent, and we are returning the graph dot compile. Okay, this is what the graph structure is. The first it adds a node, okay, that applies the AI's cleaning logic. So then it links the node to the end state. Okay, what is the meaning of this? It runs once per request. Fine. And then it sets the entry point to all the input state at the cleaning agent, and finally it compiles the graph, making it ready for the use. Okay, so this is what the entire method which we have been defined. So next we have defined a method called process data, which splits the data into smaller batches to prevent exceeding OpenAI's token limit. Because whenever we're dealing with the LLMs, even we have a token limit, so it help us to process the data in the smaller batches. Fine. So we have the batch processing loop over here. Can you see here for I in range? Okay, so it processes the 20 rows at a time. Fine. So even you can just configure this as per your requirement. So next, finally, we are constructing so here, yeah, finally we are constructing the API, sorry, AI prompt here. Okay, so which sends the batch as a formatted text prompt to the OpenAI, and finally it asks the OpenAI to perform the cleaning task, like identify the missing values, select the appropriate what imputation strategies, then remove duplicates, then format the text properly. Okay, and finally we're gonna invoke the lang graph for the AI cleaning process. Okay, which creates an instance of the cleaning state with the prompt, and it passes the state to the lang graph workflow. Okay, so this is what the entire code which we have defined inside the AI agent.py. So let me just save this, Control S. All right, so now let's set up our backend.py. So in the backend, we are using the fast API, right? So let me just go and set up this backend.py. So this is the code for the backend.py. So here, so this script basically help us to process the CSV Excel database queries and the API data using both rule based as well as the AI powered cleaning methods, whatever we have set in the agent, right? So first step is to import all the necessary modules. Okay, so we are importing sys, which ensure the scripts directory is accessible for importing different modules over here. So then we're importing the OS, we're importing pandas, IO, right? We are importing AI OHTTP, which used for the asynchronous API request. So even we are importing all the database connections modules, and even we define the standard API request schemas like pydantic dot base models. So once this is done, okay, so next step is even we are importing AI and the rule based cleaning models. Okay, so we are importing inside the scripts, we have something called AI agent. So that's what I'm telling. So import the class called AI agent. So if I just go to my AI agent, so inside this we have defined a class process, yeah, class AI agent. So we are importing that. Okay, so the next is we are importing data cleaning from the scripts folder, and here what we are importing, we are importing the data cleaning, which is a rule based data cleaning. So basically we are importing both AI agent as well as rule based data cleaning. Fine. So what this script ensures, so this AI agent is basically AI based data cleaning, and the data cleaning, the rule based, it's a traditional rule based cleaning. Fine. So this is what both the cleaning processes. So next we are initializing the fast API and the data cleaning components. So with help of fast API, so this creates an fast API app instance to handle the API request, and we are initializing the AI and the rule based cleaning tools. Okay, so that's what we are telling. So AI agent, this is my class, and we're creating an object of that in simple terms. So AI agent of the class AI agent, and we are data cleaning of the class data cleaning. Fine. So next we are started with creating the endpoints. Okay, so the first endpoint is this slash clean data. Okay, so this receives an uploaded file, that is a CSV or Excel from the user. So as soon as the user uploads, so this is what the exception handling we have set. So here it reads the CSV or Excel file depending on whatever you're uploading it into a pandas data frame, and it raises an error for any unsupported formats. And finally we are applying all the cleaning steps, right? First apply the rule based cleaning, then apply the AI powered based cleaning. Okay, so that you can see rule based, then AI powered based. Then finally we are converting this AI output back to the data frame. So this ensures the AI response in the data frame format. And and finally return the clean data as a JSON response. Okay, so that's what you can see the return statement also. Okay, return in the JSON response, and if there is any exception, just raise the exception. Okay, so this is for the both CSV and the Excel. Fine. So next we have similarly we are doing for the database as well. Okay, so first we are defining the schema for the database queries, that is DB URL, which provides a database connection string, and the query, that is a SQL query to fetch the data. Okay, so then we are doing the fetching and cleaning the data. So first slash DB, okay, which fetches the data from database and cleans it using the AI in the return the clean JSON. Okay, that's what the entire steps is. Okay, so and finally we're going to return in the form of JSON. So whatever we are doing it here in the CSV and Excel, similarly we're doing it for the database as well. Fine. Then finally we are doing it for the data clean for the API. Okay, so the first step is to define the API URL, which is the endpoint to fetch the data. So once you provide the API, okay, so then finally we're going to apply all the cleaning process similarly whatever we have done previously. Okay, so it converts the AI output and return the JSON format. Okay, that's the JSON output format. And finally we are running the fast API server locally. Okay, and the host is this, that is 127.00, this local host, and the port is 8000. Fine. So this is my entire backend script. Let me just go and save this. Control yes. All right, so now the next step is to set up our main.py, which this is a very important script because this script calls all other scripts like ingestion script, okay, cleaning and processing data scripts, okay, which help us to clean the data using rule based and the AI powered based. So first let me just paste it. Okay, so here we start with importing all the necessary modules. Okay, first is the data ingestion. This is my data ingestion module. Okay, we are importing data ingestion class. Then in the data cleaning, we are importing the data cleaning. Then we have the AI agent. From the AI agent, we are importing the AI agent. Okay, so what the data ingestion doing it here? So here it handles the data loading from the CSV, Excel, database, and API. So in the data cleaning, it performs the rule based cleaning, and in the AI agent, it uses an open AI LLM models to enhance the data cleaning. Fine, this is what the enhancing we are doing it. So next, because already we are doing the lightweight cleaning with the help of rule based, right? So then for the enhancement, we are sending that to an open AI. Fine. So next we have set all the database configurations. Okay, so like username, password, host, port, name, and the URL. Okay, so all this DB user, DB password, DB host, DB port, and DB name has been set here. Fine. So next we are initializing all these three components. Okay, so we are initializing data ingestion where we are passing the DB URL. For the data cleaning, so we have already set that in the data cleaning script. Even for the AI agent. Fine. So what does it? So in this process, we are just loading the CSV data. Then we are applying the rule-based cleaning. Then it passes the clean data through an AI for the further processing, and finally prints the final clean data in the output. Okay. So this is for the Excel. So this is for the databases. And for the API, so we are passing a sample API here. I mean, like, so this is an API which help us to just send the API data. Okay, so just to check, so this is a JSON placeholder. So where we have a sample data, so we are directly passing that into a API URL. That's being passed for the fetch from API method. Fine. And finally we are just printing the cleaned data in the output. Okay, so this is very important file because so this is basically stitching all other scripts inside our scripts folder. So let me just save this. All right, so now the next step is to add a UI to our project. That is, we are using the Streamlit, right? So this Streamlit UI will allow the user to upload the CSV or Excel files, and even like fetching the database query results, or even to call the API endpoint, and even it interacts with the fast API for the backend processing. So to do that, okay, let's do that in the app.py. So right now it's completely blank. So in case if you don't want to do that in app.py, already we have created a folder called UI. You can just try to create in this. So let me just go with the app.py. Okay, instead of UI, I can just delete this particular folder. Okay, let me just add the code over here. So this is very simple. So this script basically contains all the UI configurations for the Streamlit. So first we started with all the necessary imports. Okay, so like Streamlit, we are importing the request, pandas, JSON, right? And even we are defining the fast API URL. So which points to the fast API backend for running right on the local host, that is A8000. So then we are setting up the Streamlit UI configuration with help of set page config. The title of the page is AI power data cleaning, and the layered we have set to white. So if you already worked with the HTML, then it will be very easy for understanding. So in the HTML we define the tables, we define the headings, paragraph, right? Similarly for the UI in the Streamlit, we define the headers. So we are defining a header called data source selection, so where we are asking the user to select what kind of data source you want to go with. Okay, whether you want to go with CSV, database queries, or API data. Okay, so anyone, we are setting all the UI configurations, like what is the main title of the page. Okay, so all the markdowns are the headings. Okay, and so this is the place where all the logic is happening. So we started with handling the CSV upload. So if the user selects the CSV, it will process all the cleaning process which we have set at the backend. Okay, so it will just call all the necessary classes. So you can see, so we have provided all the buttons here. So once you click on clean data, so all the responses that's being sent, and we'll try to trigger the other scripts at the backend. Fine. So because in the backend already we have defined all the configuration that has to be triggered, the AI agent as well as the rule based processing, right? So let me just go back to API. Yeah. So here, here we are handling the database query. So every section has the exception handling. Like if there is any of the errors, we'll try to handle those exceptions. And this is for the API data. Okay. So this script is very simple. Okay. Just we are providing all the UI configurations. So let me just save this, Control yes. All right, so let me just delete this UI if it is not required. Let me just delete it. Yes, delete. Yes, delete. All right. So just to summarize, we have started with creating an environment. So we have the environment, we have app.py, which will be the triggering point. So then we have added the data, okay, for data, for, that is the CSV data and the Excel data. And for the databases, we have already set the configurations. And for the API, we have just taken the sample URL, okay, which help us to get fetch the sample data from the API. Then we have all the various scripts, okay, starting with AI agent script, which help us to do the AI based cleaning process. And before that, we have done the rule based cleaning in the data cleaning script. So then we have set the backend, there is a fast API. And so then we have pre-processing is empty. Let me just delete this, because we have already done the pre-processing inside this cleaning in the cleaning script. Okay, let me just delete this. All right, fine. So then we have main, okay, which is basically calling all other scripts, and we have this test for testing the Postgres, okay, which was successful. Yes, so we are done with our project. Now it's time to execute and see the results. Okay, so once I upload this API key, so I'll just start the recording. Okay, so let's see, like let's see like our project is running, or do you have to fix any of the installations. Okay, if you have any errors, we'll try to fix it. Okay, so see you soon. All right, so I'm back with the project. Okay, so I have added the open API key, and after adding the open API key, I executed the project. Okay, and because I have the multiple project that's being running, and I have so many conflicts with respect to version, so what I did is I just deleted that environment and created a Conda environment. Okay, so you can just follow the same thing whatever we have done so far. So the only thing which you need to make changes is regarding the installations. Okay, some pip installation you need to do it. So I'll be sharing those pip installations, but rest everything is same. Okay, so instead of going with the VNV, I've just created a Conda environment because it provides a separate environment for running the project. Okay, so because in my system there is a lot of issue with respect to the different versions. All right, so what I'll do is let me just go and create a new file. I'll just tell here to okay, notes. Okay, so I'll tell here notes.txt. Okay, so inside the notes.txt, so these are the different pip installation you need to do it at the end. Okay, so before running the project, so make sure you do pip install langchain openai, so pip install ai ohttp, pip install python.env, pip install langgraph, and the pip install python multipart. Okay, so once you try to install this, so everything is set. Okay, so only this installation you need to do it. Okay, so rest everything is working fine. Okay, so now once you are done with everything, okay, so make sure you have all the sample data. So first let's try to test our project with respect to the fast API. Okay, that is with respect to the backend. Okay, then we're going to run the streamlet. Fine. So to execute that, okay, the fast API, you need to execute this command, that is unicorn scripts.backend. So inside the scripts we have the backend.py. I'm trying to load that. I'm just reloading it, okay, with help of this flag. Okay, it should start the application inside in this HTTP 127.00 point in the 8000 port. Let me just go here and try to refresh it. Okay, if you just go and refresh, so you should type slash docs. Okay, if you just go with 8000, you'll not get it. You need to do slash docs. Once you do slash docs, this is what you'll get it. Okay, so here we have three URLs, okay, to test it. One is the slash clean data, clean db, and clean API. Okay, let's try to test with the clean data. Okay, so just expand this clean data. So here I need to click on try it now. Inside the try it now, I need to select a file which I want to clean it. We go to the choose file. Let me just select the CSV file. Let me just select the CSV file, click on open. So once you have uploaded your file, click on execute. So it will try to load the data and give you the clean data. Okay, so wherever there was a missing data, it has been replaced it, and you should get a code 200, and even you can just verify from here. Okay, we got the 200, which means that it's absolutely working fine. All right, so this is with respect to the slash clean data. So now let's try to test the API. Okay, so API, we have already passed the entire API URL. Okay, so here we just go and execute it. So what I'll tell is, let me just go here and click on try it out. And here you need to provide the API URL. So what I'll do is, let me just copy the same API URL which I've just mentioned inside this main.py. If I just scroll down, so this is what your API URL is. Let me just copy this, control C, and I'll go here. Let me just paste that inside this string. This is my API URL, control V, and let me click on execute. Okay, so here also we got a response 200. Okay, it means that it's absolutely working fine. It's cleaning the data. Okay, whatever the we have some duplicates or whatever the data we have, like it's trying to clean that. Fine, so it's absolutely working fine. Okay, so next let's try to test for the database. Okay, you can see it got worked. I got 200. Now let's go and test for the database. So for the database, you need to expand this, that is slash clean db. Okay, so here we need to provide two parameters here. One is the db URL. So we know already the db URL which is given in our test connection, right? So this is what the db URL is. You need to build this. Okay, so we need to build your db URL. So first thing is PostgreSQL. This is your username, then colon, then the password, then at the rate localhost 5432, and the database name. Okay, so let me just go and add that. I'm just copying that. It's same thing. Okay, same information. I'll do control C here, and let me just go and paste that information over here. Okay, need to click on try it out, and let me just paste it here. And the next query, you can write any simple query. I'll do select star from the table. Okay, so I'll tell select star from, and in the Postgres I showed you we have something called my table, right? So I'll just tell my table. Okay, this is what the table name is. Okay, so let me just click on execute. Everything is good. Okay, so here also I'm getting a 200. Okay, so it's absolutely working fine. All right, so now let me just go here. So let it keep it as it is. Okay, now what I'll do is, let me just go and add one more command prompt, and here let me just activate it. So in the backend this is running, so let me activate the environment and try to run the streamlet. Okay, so to activate, so I need to tell the environment, right, environment name. Just a second. So this is my conda activate. Okay, so conda activate, it got activated. You can see same environment. So now let me just go and run the streamlit app. So I'll tell here streamlit, streamlit run. Inside the app we have app.py. Okay, So let me just allow this. Yeah. So here, this is our UI. This is how it looks. Okay. So we have CSV, we have database query, we have API data. Let me just go to CSV, click on browse. And so here we have the same CSV data. Let me just upload it. Okay. And you can see the data preview and click on clean data. So automatically that will be cleaned and you can see the response over here. Okay, can see the clean data. Fine. So even you can do the database query. So here you can just provide all the connection details also showing up. Let me just fetch and clean the data. So here you need to provide the username and the password. Let me just provide the same thing. Okay, make sure you provide all the necessary things properly, then when it will work. Okay, so this is your database name and stuff. Okay, and select stuff from my table, fetch and clean. Okay, you can see this is a clean data. Fine. So you can just try to provide some simple sample data with some mistakes, some extra spaces. Okay, blank values, duplicates. Okay, you can just verify those things. Yes. So this is all about AI powered data cleaning. So you can just make this as a version 2, adding more and more features. Okay, like adding multiple files. Okay, you can just extend to other databases as well, right? So yes. So I hope you have enjoyed it. So see you soon in the next new project.